Hello, I'm Susan Wilson, and I'm sitting here with my fellow students. We're in New York to sit for the wine ambassador exam. But we were just sitting around talking about how some of the styles have changed in Italy as far as winemaking. I'm specifically interested in how Pinot Grigio has changed in the Northeast. But before we jump in, I'll let my friends introduce themselves to you.
Thanks. I'm Stacey O'Donnell. I'll be doing a little bit on the Toscana region and in particular Brunello di Montalcino, one of my favorites.
Yes, I'm Mauricio I'll be talking about Barolo in Piemonte.
My name is Travis Padilla, and I'll be talking about Sicily, specifically the Etna DOC.
Yes. So in the 1980s and 1990s, Pinot Grigio surged in popularity, especially in the United States. High demand led to wine producers making inexpensive, lower quality wines. However, because of this, over time, Pinot Grigio took a hit as far as its reputation in the wine community. Today, many Italian winemakers have gone back to tradition, and especially in the Friuli, Venezia Giulia region, you're starting to see more of a Ramato style of wine being produced. Instead of the bright straw-colored wine that was popularized around the 1960s, now we're beginning to see producers going back to Ramato, producing wines that have more skin contact and that are allowing the grape to express its true character. One producer in particular in Friuli is Scarbola, and what I love about their style is that they make a shorter maceration wine, about 24 hours, and one that is macerated longer and is eventually oaked and barreled for an extended period of time. What about you?
Yes, Susan. In Barolo, we had the same situation in the 80s and in the 90s. It was a fad to produce a lot of oaky Barolos that were only ready to drink after 10, 15 years aging in the bottle. But now I was there in November, visited many producers, and one that spoke to me was Cadipress. They are doing Barolo with minimum oak, with large vessels of Slovenian oak. Also low intervention in the vineyard, minimum chemicals, and including the filtration. So it's a Barolo that's very finesse and can be drank young.
Yeah, in Brunello they're doing the same kind of thing, and in the past they really didn't do a whole lot of the oak aging, and then you had that big fat come in, especially with the newer style wines, and everyone wanted these big, heavy, structured, bold red wines, and a lot of spice to it, and for Brunello that just wasn't what they wanted to do. So one of my favorite producers, one of the most well-known, Argiano, was bought out by a Brazilian entrepreneur in 2013, and he redid the entire winery. So he ended up putting all of the large oak back in, so all the barriques went out the window. And they do the low intervention as well in the vineyard, and I think it's turned into some of the most really beautiful fruity expressed Brunellos, which can still age, but I think to the public's delight, I think they're really nice, easy drinking wine now, which is very approachable and very enjoyable. What about in Sicily? What are they up to?
In Sicily, parkerization had people wanting those larger, bigger, bolder expressions of wine, and Sicily was a part of that as well. Essentially, Diego Planeta was the first person to use international varieties that were outside of Italy in order to make wine, and he got recognition for that. But as time went on, it seems that even he is going back to using indigenous grape varietals such as Nerello Mascalese, Nerello Campuccio, Gatarato. This is a winemaking style that is led by Salvio Fozzi of I Vigneti. Most of the producers who are going back to this style are native to Etna and have lived in the region, focusing on more human wines, minimal interventions to really focus on the actual flavors of the grapes. Old vessels that were used back in the day to carry the wines, such as large format oak that was used in the Palmentes and terracotta, and actually going back to using Palmentes the 90s they stopped using them because of hygienic purposes, but they've essentially modernized them for new winemaking.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all very
Yeah.
interesting.
I think we have some wine to go drink.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed peeking in on our chat.
Yeah.
And we will see you. Ciao.
Let's try that.